Welcome to Vision Television, where truth counts.
If you don't have peace, it isn't because someone took it from you, you gave it away. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can control what happens in you. That's a quote from John C. Maxwell. Tonight on Exposed, we are going to be discussing on personal development. And on my panel, I'm joined by Reverend Elvis Irongo, who is the Director of Ministries at East Assembly Church. Karibu to the show.
Thank you very much.
I'm also joined by Reverend Joshua Kiruma,
Yeah.
Associate Pastor, East Assembly Church. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
You can get in touch with us on our Facebook page, VTV Kenya or East Assembly Church. You can also talk to us on our Twitter handle at VTVKE or East_Assembly. Pastor Elvis,
Yep.
what is emotional intelligence and what is emotional wellness?
The issue of emotional intelligence has much to do with being aware of your emotions, being able to recognize or identify the emotions that you're going through. You can say, I have this and this and this and this. This is how I tend to behave or to feel. And then once you know that, then you can be able to manage your emotions so that it can help you in the society or in your interactions with people or in your place of work. And when we're looking at the issue of emotional, the other one is emotional
Intelligence.
And emotional wellness. Yeah, we're talking about psychological wellness, just ability to accept yourself, that ability to be satisfied with yourself, and really setting realistic goals in life, and things, taking care of the stresses of life and things that may stress you in life. Yep.
Pastor Joshua, I'd like to find out from you. He's saying that it's how you balance and how you look at the psychological issues in life and how you balance them out. How do these issues interfere with our normal functioning, our day-to-day interactions?
Our day-to-day functioning probably relates to, I'm assuming, interaction with television, interaction with the social media, a little bit of study. And in my opinion, anything relating to emotional wellness has as well to do with, let's say, how your emotional side relates to aspects like cynicism. By cynicism, I mean watching someone else doing something in a good way and appreciating what they're doing as if it were yourself. And so for me, personal wellness and emotional wellness have a relationship.
The question, Pastor, here I would like to ask you is, we have different segments in areas of our lives.
Yeah.
We have the spiritual side, we have the emotional side, we have psychological, we have academic, we have personal lives, we have family lives. How do you balance? There's a lot of things. How do you achieve balance in all these areas of your life?
Basically planning. Yeah. So that you don't do one thing at the expense of other things. So I think when you wake up in the morning or before you go to sleep, you should be, or generally in life, you need to have goals. Maybe I would put it maybe on a weekly basis. So you should be able to look at those things from that point of view. If you're a parent, you need to allocate some time for parenting. You need some exercises. You need to allocate some time for that. You need to read a bit. You need to allocate time for that. You need time for work. You need to develop yourself in terms of knowledge. Yes, for your career, all that. So what you need to do is to plan. Without plan, you cannot be able to achieve that. You're going to find that you're going to be doing some other things a lot, and you will neglect some things totally. So planning is key.
Give us a practical way like for you, you like to go to the gym and you like to do exercises and all that. Many people really struggle with such things, or just finding time for social life and doing a hobby and just having fun in life. Today's world has become the expectations of today's world are just too much. So maybe practically break it down for us. Planning sounds out there.
I've come across a number of people that are interested on, let's say, the fame factor. By fame factor, I mean you want to be known for, let's say, having good emotions, or you're probably a great thinker. And in my opinion, the capacity to relate to all that as a matter of lifestyle relates a lot to mentality. What kind of mentality do you have? And for instance, you've just mentioned issues relating to training. Assuming you're to go to the gym, good mentality will tell you train in a manner that's professional. You don't want to go to the gym and hurt your ankles and hurt your shoulder, have you not taken good advice as you train. So I'm working on the idea, or building on the idea of thinking that if your psyche is right, if your thinking is right, if you're thinking fast rate, then it will be easier for one to have balance, because balance is about psyche. Let me build on it. If
Sort of like zeal and energy?
Yes, zeal and energy. And then not only that, but if you have the passion, you have the zeal, and you're thinking, I have to train, I have to give my best at the gym. The second thing to ask is, are you playing by the rules? Are you training right, for instance? The third thing would be balance. And by balance, I'm talking about making sure that pursuit of personal wellness does not, for instance, overwhelm your productive levels at work. It's got to be...
Yeah, because at times this gym thing, people go to the gym and then in the morning you can't even wake up.
Correct.
Your whole body is aching and
yes.
you know, you're just a log of wood.
Yes.
Maybe Pastor Elvis, from a biblical perspective, how do all these issues play out? What does God expect of us?
Yes.
In terms of balancing life, in terms of emotional intelligence and ability to have emotional wellness.
Basically, God designed us to operate like people who are totally emotionally well. And He has also given us the gift of self-discipline. Now, that is what should govern our lives. And self-discipline is key in everything. So when it comes to emotional well-being, you need to maintain a bit of that, because you need, if you're worrying too much, you should be able to regulate yourself and think in accordance with the Word of God. Yes, and stop fearing too much. That will require a lot of self-discipline. And then when it comes to other things, self-discipline is key. You see, many people want to go to the gym, but they go to the gym in their head. In the head. But physically,
in the soul.
No. Many people want to read books. They buy books, put in the shelves. What do they read?
They don't.
They don't. And even many times people want to do 1, 2, 3 things.
Even going back to school.
Going back to school. But what happens? They keep postponing it. So that's a big problem with people. So the key thing is self-discipline. Like doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, no matter what you're feeling. Yeah. So many people are not able to regulate themselves that way. Yeah.
I like that point about self-discipline, Pastor Joshua. It's something that is very hard to achieve, because if you're going to balance life, you have to, now practically, how do you develop that self-discipline?
Again, for me, I'm building on the idea of the mentality and also love, like you've said, the zeal. The zeal, let me zero in on the training bit. And I think he's put it very nicely. You don't wake up every morning feeling strong and feeling like gym is the first thing you want to do all through the day. There are times when you wake up and it feels like a drudgery. Times that you wake up and you're having a little headache and you have a little bit of push and shove before you go to the gym. But then when you think of the zeal factor, and especially the pattern committing to a pattern of training and committing to going to the gym frequently. At times it takes a lot more energy than zeal. You really need to build on a pattern, and I think that he has a valid point, yes. Yeah.
Pastor Elvis, I'd like to find out from you,
Yeah.
how does one grow in their career? How do you develop career goals, career path?
Yeah.
It's part of personal development. How
Yeah,
does one
yeah.
go about this?
Maybe I think what each and every person should do is to have goals first. By this time, I would want to be somewhere here. And then from there you begin to strategize on how to reach there. So if you say by 3 years, I want to be here, then you begin to work towards that. Yeah, you plan towards that and begin to work towards that, so that you begin to take steps that will keep leading you to your ultimate goal. Yeah.
In the pursuit of your dreams and goals, and maybe at times you've even tried, but you just don't get there. Maybe if it's that you want to get this kind of a job, you want to start this kind of a business, the challenges, the mishaps, the things that you want to do are just difficult. How do you go about such?
For me, it's about flexibility, one. But two, there are times that you have to go like non-negotiable. Let me cite an example. There are guys who plan after clearing school to, for instance, go for their studies to whatever level of study. They probably plan by 26, they need to have gotten their MA or their doctoral paper, or they need to have at least gotten 2 years working experience or 3. But does it always happen that way? I don't think so. However, I have this cut line that by the time you're 24, if you have access, you've cleared high school and you have access to some education, you have access to work, whether a young person or, and basically this relates to young people, by 24 they should be at least be either working or studying or doing something with themselves. Now for me that is sort of a non-negotiable in a way.
Just hold that thought. We'll take a short break, then we'll just pick it up from where you've reached.
Welcome to Vision Television, where truth counts. Welcome to Vision Television, where truth counts.
Welcome back to the show. I want to believe that you're gaining a lot of insight as we discuss on personal development. And I would like to talk to Pastor Joshua and continue the trail of thought concerning how, breaking it down for us practically, how you're going to be able to achieve this.
Okay, practical it is, regardless of how fast rate or how high it is. Think of a guy that is planning to get his doctoral paper by the time he is in his 28th year. Think of a person that says, I want to be Mr. Kenya by the time I am on my 28th year or 30th year. Question will be, are these things achievable at the age of 24? And that's why I was zeroing, and I still zero in on the age 24 and saying, anyone going for something, whether it's, let's say, muscle building or it's just pure planning for personal wellness and for ambitions to be achieved. By the time you're hitting 24, you need to at least have set some goal.
People set goals, Pastor Elvis, but they don't achieve them. Pesa ya kwenda gym hata haiko. Yani, there are a lot of issues that make someone's pursuit to achieve that personal growth and development very difficult.
Yeah. So there are things that may be beyond you, but there are goals that you can achieve when they're studying, people plan many goals, or they set this goal, that goal, that goal. But come the end of now the new year, they will not have achieved anything. And I think this is because of a number of things. One, there is psychological side to it. And there's a psychological side that sometimes when people want to start now to work on the goals, they have other things, in their minds, or other reasons for not achieving that.
Like what?
Well, like for instance, you can say, I will start it next month.
Procrastination?
Yeah, that is one. And that is a key thing. So because people plan and they want to do something, but when they want to do it, they have a reason, for not doing it now. A thought comes and tells you, you don't have much time this month. Just wait. Wait until next week and do it next week. But a person who wants to start it will ask, why can't I start it now? Even today. Yeah. Why I have some 15 minutes somewhere? Why can't I work on that goal today? Yeah. So there are many psychological things that go on in people's minds, and those things make them not achieve their goals. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Although there would be other things, like they may not be believing in themselves, the things that were told by their parents and the things that were told by their teachers, things like that, and other factors.
Let me throw in, Pastor Elvis, a question here on how does Christianity help me develop as a person?
See, the idea of faith is relevant to everything. It's relevant to the banking industry. It's relevant to
How?
modeling industry. It's relevant to church work, assuming you're a cleaner or even a pastor. The idea of faith generally is an idea that is superior to structural thinking. I want you to think of this when we have oaths of office, especially government offices. You see them holding a Bible, and they are really relating to a higher power. And they're saying, this higher power help me do all I can with all the civic functions that I have. And faith makes sense in practically every area of life. Now, as you think of emotional intelligence, as you think of emotional wellness, as you think of personal wellness, I'm reminded of the fruit of the Spirit. For instance, as God works character in us, as God works courage in us, as He works, let's say, the fruit of the Spirit, when He's busy doing all that, so that our personal wellness remains first rate. Does He choose whether you're a banker? Does He choose whether you're a pauper? Does He choose whether you have money or not? That's not the idea. So God keeps developing our hearts regardless of social class.
And also, Wanja, there is this issue. Who am I?
Identity.
Where did I come from? Why am I here? Okay. Where will I go after I die? Those are key questions in life. So you're asking, why should I become a Christian? So that's why I'm bringing in these questions. Who am I? So you need to know who you are. Okay. Where did you come from? Right. What is my purpose in life? So those things are related to faith, because for us Christians, we know where did we come from. We were made by God, and who are we? We're children of God. Why are we here? We're here to live for God and to serve His purposes.
Pastor Joshua, let's talk about time management. How do you manage time? He mentioned you need to plan to be able to achieve the things that you want.
Correct.
But now the issue is you may write down plans, but the problem is how do you manage time to ensure that you're effective in achieving what you want to do, in developing yourself, whether it's schooling or whatever.
Okay. I'll look at three things. First of all, from the question you're asking, feels like everything rises and falls on the person. But if you look at that idea of time, it's still being affected by community needs, for instance. When you live in a gated community and you're planning to get to work at 8 o'clock, and you get out of the house and you meet a neighbor who's pregnant, the husband flew out and went out of the country, and you have to take this lady to hospital. That already interferes with some 2 hours of your work schedule. And you have to go give attention to the pregnant lady, take her to the hospital, make sure that she delivers safely, or look for a medical person to care for them. Now, I'm just citing an example. But time management will obviously be affected by community needs. That's one. But two, it will also be affected by, let's say, your workplace. And that's a structure. That's a workplace that tells you you need to arrive at 8 o'clock,
and leave at this time.
do your duties at around whatever time. So at the end of the day, whatever time planning is done, we need to do it in light of those three things: yourself, your community, and the structure that you're serving.
That's very profound.
Yeah.
Pastor Elvis, maybe you can tell us, there's a lot of pressure in today's world to be successful. So how do you avoid competition? Because as you develop yourself, you're trying to be like that person. Hey, ameenda shule, amenunua gari, lives in a certain house. Hey, I'm not, I'm left behind by my age mates. I'm supposed to be here in life. How do you manage all that in trying to compete with the world expecting you to be a certain place?
Yeah, I think what I would say is this. One, we should compete. We should not compete with every other person that we see on the streets, because we can never be the same. That's for sure. So we should set our own goals and try to pursue the goals that we've set. And each person has a race for him or herself on earth. I should not run the race that Pastor Joshua is running or which Wanja is running. Yeah. So I should look at my interests. I should look at my passions and my gifts, and try to pursue a career out of that, as opposed to what I see Pastor Joshua doing here, and as opposed to what I see you doing. Yeah. So I need to look at my gifts and my passions and pursue that.
But I thought competition can be healthy. What do you think, Pastor Joshua?
Yeah.
When you look at someone driving a certain car, you're like, what?
For me, idea of competition, it doesn't have to go cruel. It just has to go comparisons, like doing comparisons up against what you're doing. It's not unhealthy. For instance, for you to have a business, you have a neighbor who is doing 30 people. You probably want to know how do they get to the 30 people in selling spectacles, for instance. You who is in the shop and you're selling hairdo stuff, you're probably doing 20 customers. So you're asking, why is she doing 10 more customers than yourself?
Than me, yeah.
Question is, by you comparing yourself to other business people, is it just that hurting to compare yourself in the interest of growth? I don't think so.
Yes.
If you're comparing yourself in the interest of growth, then it's a good thing. The only thing is, it shouldn't demoralize, the words that you had used earlier. It shouldn't demotivate. It should just help you style up or grow. And like he said, go unique. What are your opportunities? Who are your customers? Go unique. That may be a lot more helpful, alongside doing a checklist with the rest of the customers or businesses.
Well, we are pressed for time. I wish we could have more time to just talk about this. But maybe Pastor Elvis, in conclusion, maybe you could tell us what you'd like the viewer to take home concerning how to develop their lives, personal development.
When we look at it from a point of emotional intelligence, I would say that emotions are key to success in life. So we should be aware of our emotions. Your stresses or your anger or the way you treat people because of your emotions can stop your growth and your development. Can even wreck your career.
Okay.
We've seen that happen. Yeah. A person who may not be very popular in Kenya, but like this guy who was the president of IMF, Strauss-Kahn, someone from France. He was to become contest for the president of France. Look at him now. Yeah, because he was not able to manage his emotions.
True.
He's wrecked his career. Yeah, he was thrown out of office. He's had a lot of lawsuits, and of course, he didn't become the president of France. I don't know whether he's going to become one. Reason? He did not control himself.
Emotional intelligence.
He saw someone in the hotel, and I think they say, I don't know whether he was trying to rape her or something, something like that. He did not manage his emotions well. So management of our emotions is key to succeed in life.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome. Pastor Joshua, what would you like the viewer to take home? Encourage someone to go to the gym and do some exercise.
All right. There may be a few that probably are nursing sores because they trained hard last week or something. But then I want to encourage them. I have friends, guys that are very good at doing hobbies, and they encourage me a lot to maintain the presence of God as I do training. And these are guys that are born again. They love God. They love having fun. They listen to a lot of music. They'll eat a lot, but they'll also do their thing in the presence of God. Myself, when I'm going to the gym, I surprisingly, we link up with lots of guys that love God. And there are people who have a bias with the gym, and they keep saying the gym is full of thieves and guys who are robbers and gangsters. But it's not true. We have lots of people that love God and do gym. However, for me, every high point, every low point should be done as unto the Lord. We shouldn't do it for ourselves. My take home would be whether you are emotionally high or low, do it in the Lord. That I am sure, if you do it in the Lord will be with you. I'm drawing this from the Old Testament, where God talks to the Israelites and tells them, when you do your feasts, you do them for yourselves. When you do your fast, sometimes you do them for yourselves, but God is challenging them and telling them, do it for me, who is your God.
Wow.
And so for me, I'd go for that. Whatever high moment or low moment, do it as unto God.
Wow. I want to believe you've enjoyed the show as much as I have. And my encouragement to you is that you need to look at your life and see how you're going to balance every area of your life. We've talked about planning and time management and the ability to just look at life and see opportunity and go for it. Jesus in Luke 2:52 developed as a person. He grew both in favor with God and man, and he was able to balance all the areas of his life. So my encouragement to you is plan, don't give up. Even if you've not achieved your goals, just keep at it and you'll reach where you want to in life. I've been your host, Ruth Wanja, and this is Exposed, where we tackle life issues from a biblical perspective. Good night and God bless you.
Welcome to Vision Television, where truth counts.